I am now recording. Hey,
There
welcome
you go.
everybody to the Mega
Hi.
WordPress meetup. We were just talking with John Hawkins here about his Las Vegas meetup. John, why don't you finish what you were saying? Now that we have recorded, which is what we were doing since day one.
Beginning. Thank you, and have a nice evening. Oh, wait, no. I was going to say that we do also have, we've been recording them all. And so if you go to wpvegas.com, all of our meetups are up there, and you can check them out. So if anybody is interested, our meetups are third Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. Pacific. If anybody is interested, has a topic they want to speak about, we love having guest speakers come in and talk about pretty much whatever the heck they want, as long as it's even pseudo related to WordPress.
Yes, just relate anything. WordPress is, blog. You can blog on WordPress, and you can blog just about anything. I think though it is important to keep in mind to keep inviting people to these meetups. I think conferences sometimes they get a lot of attention, but remember the meetups is where we find new speakers. More, and diversity is also more commonplace in meetups, so it's just easier. That runway has been greased a little bit more in terms of meetups, because that's the one thing I've seen lacking. I mean, all things aside, 2020 being what it is, we don't have in-person WordCamps, yes. But the other thing we don't want to forget about is that, the meetups and the WordCamps are what have brought new speakers to the WordPress community, or focused into the WordPress community. And this year it's been very, very difficult to get people. People are very busy dealing with the pandemic, their own business, their own personal lives. So it's hard enough for new speakers who have never spoken at a meetup to get them into that meetup, right? And personally, I would think that you would love to do it out of your own house, probably, but some prefer to stand up in public. So that's kind of a barrier too. So as we come out of this and go back to in-person meetups, whenever that happens, I think we're going to find that there's going to be a vacuum that needs to be filled in terms of, well, what is the new speakers that you've heard in the last year that you've liked? Well, not liked, but have struck an impression. Well, there hasn't been a lot of new speakers because, look around you. That sort of thing. But yes, so John dropped a link in there if anybody
Can I
wants to
just
check
add
that
one
out.
other thing, which is, right now, one of the big things that we're finding is that so many people are also going through, Zoom overload. We're all just on Zoom kind of like all day, every day. So running our meetups, our attendance and even just having them remotely has been dropping and dropping and dropping, which is a bummer, which is why I'm so excited about doing things like this, where we're actually talking with people kind of from all over, because I feel like this is a good way to kind of maybe bring some new blood into our own local meetups as well.
Yeah, and honestly,
Go
ahead.
Okay. It was that very Zoom fatigue that led to the decision to cancel WordCamp US. And that's why we saw the State of the Word a few days ago instead of back in October.
There just wasn't any time to put anything. If there was going to be something different and more interactive, A, we needed the ideas, and B, we needed the time to execute them, and neither of that surfaced. I see some people now doing some pretty cool things, though. So we'll see what the next year brings. But Guy, can you give us 60 seconds about your meetup? And then we'll do Cameron, and I think that's all we have in terms of meetup introductions, I think.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Guy Cicinelli, and I'm here representing WordPress Southwest Florida meetup, and a couple of members here. Also, one of our famed members, Birgit herself, will be talking later on. We cover a pretty big area geographically. We cover Collier County and Lee County with rotating, well, pre-COVID, rotating meetups in Naples and Fort Myers, and even a Wednesday lunch meetup, coffee clatch that we had too. So it's been pretty busy until COVID, and so that's changed everything. And so We're really big fans of this mega meetup because we get to meet a lot more people, and I get our members exposure to a whole lot more presenters and ideas from all around the country. I believe we had a pretty good couple of meetups lately, and we're always, of course, like everybody else, looking for new ideas and new like workflows or technologies or themes or gadgets for people to present on. So if anyone wants another chance at another Zoom presentation, send me an email, gcicinelli@gmail.com. And our link you could also go to is right there, meetup.com, WordPress, Southwest Florida.
Cool beans. And we got Robert here from Chicago. Robert, give us 60 seconds on your meetup.
It's the Chicago Meetup. There's nothing better. Cold weather, no ability to meet in person and have a drink. You know,
Delightful.
Perfect 2020.
Delightful. Just the way my imposter syndrome likes it.
Yes, we also lost our WordCamp this year because of, well, COVID. So it's been a challenging year, but no, our meetup's going strong. Our monthly meetings are great. We're always looking for speakers. I'll drop a link in for the Chicago meetup, but would love to have any and all of you come by, submit presentation topics. That'd be great.
Super, yes, please drop a link. Cameron?
Hey, everybody. I'm Cameron Barrett. I think Anthony Nebo already did a little bit of an introduction for the meetup that we run. As one of the organizers of the Montclair, New Jersey meetup, which is now one of several meetups that are bundled together called Jersey Press. We just passed.
That makes me hungry, and I don't know why.
Yeah, we're starting to expand. We're trying to group in all the other local meetups around us. And branding them as a Jersey Press, as a group meetup as opposed to individual meetups, because we have a lot of crossover between them. There's a lot of people down in the Asbury Park area when that meetup shut down that are starting to come into us. There's a lot of people from the eastern part of Pennsylvania where there's really not a lot over there, but they're close enough to us they can drive in. And we've had people come in from Scarsdale and Brooklyn and other parts of the tri-state area, just because we have such a large group. We just passed 1,800 members on Meetup. The Meetup itself is about 4 years old, maybe 5 years old. I've been running it for about 4 years. Like Robert said, we're always looking for speakers. If you'd like to present on a topic, please shout out to us. We generally have anywhere from 30 to 80 people attend our virtual meetups. Our in-person meetups, which of course we can't do right now, we usually have between 20 and 60 people come to those. Again, just like Robert said, we lost our WordCamp this year, which is unfortunate. We had a great venue lined up with a great speaker dinner set up. It was pretty amazing. Everything's on hold until 2022. But we expect to have a very, very good WordCamp Montclair in 2022. If anybody has any questions about what we're doing with the Jersey Press or with another super secret, well, it's not secret project, side project that Michael, Terry, and I are working on called Gather Press. If you have any interest in learning about what that is, please reach out to us and we can loop you in on that open source project.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for coming. And just as a little background for tonight's meetup, like I was starting to say before, I wasn't really expecting, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting a huge turnout tonight. I deliberately put this meetup the same week as the U.S. holiday of Christmas, which not everybody here celebrates, of course. But I did that deliberately because I know that there's probably many people right now that are probably wisely keeping their distance or quarantined or however you want to put it. And didn't want to be one of those weeks where you went not without talking to a human being, or at least hearing the sound of a human being, at least if you close your eyes long enough or drink long enough, one or the other, then this may pretend to actually be a group of people that that you can hang out with for 2 hours or however long this takes. This is probably not going to be one of our longer meetups. We're going to do a nice interview with Brigitte, and we're just going to share. So we're just going to play a few trivia games, but I thought that would be worthwhile still anyway. Our next meetup should be on January. Let me pull it up here. So everybody can write this down. I believe, not February, January. Not the January 19th is Tuesday. We have a speaker already kind of signed up for it. So that we'll be adding that probably in another day or so on our meetup page, and I'll distribute that to all the organizers as well. So the first thing we're going to take care of, got reminded here for a couple of things. Leanne is from, I thought it was the King of Persia calling in, but no, it's Leanne from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
No,
Apparently
Lynn.
Oh, Lynn, I'm sorry. What did I say,
Yeah.
Leanne?
Yeah.
Lynn, right. Half of those letters I just have to ignore. Yes, well, great to have you from Pennsylvania, now that you're representing. I usually ask who's the person furthest from my location, but I don't know if anyone got in here early, but that would be, I believe Eric is from Taiwan. I'm not even sure if he's still on. He's probably on mute right now, but there is a Taiwan English WordPress meetup that's also joining us, or at least he's joining us here this evening. So we are a smaller group, but we're more of a mixed group. That's, kind of like a mixed nuts type of thing. We also have, let's see if there's anybody else I missed in the chat, just making sure. If I did, forgive me. And Jean will keep an eye on the chat for me as well. We have people again from New Jersey. I think I see somebody from Canada I may recognize. Yep. All right. Oh, you're Suzanne from Israel? Is the Israel that's on the other side of the Israel? Or like Israel landscaping or something like that? Oh. She can sign.
She's from Israel, yes. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's add that to the list. Yeah, we're gradually scratching off countries on this giant world map I have here off to the right hand side. We got US, so that's a plus. Here I'm going to share our presentation tonight. Brigitte, we're going to have an interview with you a little bit about the changes that have been coming up in the last WordPress update 5.6, and we're going to talk a little bit more Gutenberg and site editors and pick your brain a little bit. For the moment, though, to lead us into the conversation, I'm going to start a tradition. Oh, and by the way, just again, I do this a lot. I pause what I'm about to say and switch tracks. Our sponsor, GoDaddy Pro, tonight is giving away real prizes, especially if you live in the U.S. If you don't live in the U.S., you could still technically win, but you just may not get something shipped to you. After we go through my presentation, go through the interview, we're going to be doing a couple rounds of trivia that I don't think I've done on the meetup yet. Hopefully not. If you win those, we will go through a process which you might actually win a real prize from GoDaddy Pro. So that will close out our meetup tonight. So if you can stick around for the game shows, that would be great. And then, contact us later. You just make sure to drop a private screenshot to me to prove that you won and your email address to me, and we'll go and get your prize. And apparently we got someone from Brazil here too. So it's just a party. So let me share my slides before more countries join us. If I can share my slides, that is. We had a problem with this last time that I can't go full screen on this. Let me see. Yeah, I was afraid that was going to happen. So let's see if I can just. The slides really aren't that sophisticated, so I could probably just show them to you in Keynote. And I'm going to share. Come on, Keynote. There you go. No audio. It needs to be done. All right. So this stemmed from my own WordPress meetup that we try to share a few things every month so that if you're attending this meetup, everybody walks away at least learning one thing, even if it isn't from the the main presentation. So we call it the top 9 or the top 10 or however many it ended up being. So we're just going to go through this real quick, and we'll share the slides with in my Meetup group, and then we'll share it with the Meetup organizers as well. So these are things that have happened in the last month in WordPress land that you might find interesting, or a technique or a blog post or something along those lines. And the first thing is something called LifePress. And I thought, and I just discovered this today. In fact, I haven't even had time to, I think, even tweet about it, which is what I immediately do when I learn something new about anything WordPress related. This is kind of a calendar plugin, but it's not a traditional calendar plugin. This is kind of a calendar plugin to document your events in your life, hence why maybe it's called LifePress. I'm sharing my, everybody sees my slides or screen, right? Just somebody say yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool, thank you, because with this on, I don't see the chat very well. Let me show you this video here. And I think you agree, this is why I added this. I don't know if you can hear the audio. Not that there's any audio issue. Now, it looks like Google Calendar to me a little bit. And Gene just dropped a link to it in the chat. Thank you, Gene. So LifePress is a calendar-based journal recorder that will allow you to track back progress and review past events, to learn from past and make positive progress in the future. Now that sounds to me a little bit hippie, but I like it. I kind of looked at it today. It feels like Google Calendar.
It's pretty loud, David.
Oh, you can hear the audio.
Yeah, we can hear it loud and clear.
You don't even need the audio really for this. Is that better? Let me just set it down here.
Yes.
Okay, so front-end users get presented with a weekly calendar view, and you can add entries as you saw in the video. Did I pause that? And there's, I don't know, check out the blog post, because even if you're not interested in this sort of thing, I like the user interface on it. And it's different than most of the other WordPress plugin interfaces I've seen out there. So anyway, go take a look at that link if you're interested in using that plugin or want to experience a plugin, and we'll get to Matt's face in a minute. Okay, what's next here? All right, so LifePress, that's our first one on our list. The next one is a website that recently launched called Learn WordPress. And this was created, the idea of this came about mostly around the time we decided to cancel WordCamp US, the conference 2020. We wanted an alternate way of providing educational information, and since at that time we were canceling the event, it was kind of a given fact that it was going to go longer than most people anticipated. So this project was born, and if you check it out at learn.wordpress.org, this would be, I think, right up a lot of people's alley, those who are listening to the meetup tonight. Because it's for everybody. It could be for bloggers or newbies or developers or that sort of thing. But effectively here, it is a website where you can get further, it is an official website where you can get further educated regarding WordPress. And it's very, very more directed toward education than like WordPress.tv is. So if you don't know about WordPress TV, Gene can drop a link of that in the Slack, not the Slack chat, the Zoom chat right now. WordPress.tv contains videos from WordCamps, but this is more directed learning. So for example, if you ever want to contribute to WordPress directly, this video on how to use Track would be very beneficial for you. If you're just starting out with WordPress, how to choose and install a theme would be very beneficial for you. And not only is it a video with some text on it, but it also gives you a quiz and at the end to figure out what you've learned, and you can even join a group discussion too. Now, somebody asked if they knew what the LMS for this is being used. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they built it custom, just because it is WordPress .org doing this. So I wouldn't be surprised. I use an LMS called, wow, I completely drew a blank on the name. I like to say
LearnDash.
yes.
LearnDash, Lift
Yeah, I use
LMS.
LearnDash. I have familiarity with LearnDash. So LearnDash does courses and stuff like that. You know, you can take multiple classes inside a course. Learn.wordpress.org doesn't seem to do that, but this is all volunteer-based efforts, by the way, so it's actually pretty good. They know what they're talking about, obviously. So I would definitely now add this to your expanding list of links to check out. They call them workshops. So, for example, like how to install WordPress, an 18-minute video, and then you can, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to join, and they have, here's your dedicated discussion group, which points to a meetup.com. So it says learning word. So this is your Learn WordPress discussions, and you can actually participate in a kind of like a live Zoom chat based on these videos, as you see here on January 12th, using WordPress in other languages. So as much as it would pain me to be jealous of you not coming to this meetup every month, instead of this one, if this is right, this would be another way for you to be able to get some information about something specific for you. So you may want to keep this in mind. So this is learn.wordpress.org. I go back and right there. And of course you can learn about, there's also lesson plans you can access as well. So definitely check that out. It's something new that's that has been launched, I'd say, in the last 30 days. And we keep getting Matt's face. All right, moving on. This is a WordPress theme that has come out in the last 30 days. It's called block-based, or it's called Bosco, but this is a block-based one. And if you are playing with block-based type of themes, which we might get into in a little bit here, this might be something you want to play around with. So if you're very interested in the new editor in Gutenberg and kind of, you know, can't wait to play around with blocks when it comes to simple design themes, this is something to check out. And I'll let you, I won't go into it more here because a demo would take too long, but I left the direct link and the Tavern link. Berta, did you ever play with this yet?
No, I haven't played with this one yet. I just downloaded the 2024 blocks. But yeah, that's certainly on my list of testing, is the full site editing, now that the site editor is actually in beta. Yeah, try it out.
Yeah, bookmark it. So moving on, I think this is something that we wanted to repeat because not a lot of people got it. There are a couple of, this actually probably a couple of months ago, probably this came out, gutenberghub.com. There are landing page templates you can check out. So if you are putting together a WordPress site using Gutenberg, and that's pretty much the default nowadays, you may want to check out this link for landing page templates, and they're broken up by different categories. This might even give you kind of an insight as to how some pages can be put together. Now, I don't know if anybody here is familiar with it, and I don't think it's like block-based editing full site. I think it's just a series of Gutenberg layouts, block layouts, and that sort of thing. So it's not really an entire WordPress theme, but it's a collection of blocks that could be put together for, like, is the real estate market and travel and all that type of stuff. I use these sites sometimes as a, here I am trying to grab the URL here. I sometimes use these sites as just inspiration in terms of like what are WordPress sites now doing with the new Gutenberg editor, or what some designs that are kind of new and interesting. Can I click on that? I wonder why I can't click on that. Thought they had demos. Or maybe this is a screen. Maybe I'm clicking on a screenshot like a moron. Yeah, I think this is probably the, Yeah, that's what I'm clicking on. Yeah. So if you actually follow the link and actually go to the homepage, it's probably a better link because you can see layouts of Gutenberg blocks. You can also see just full on templates um, to show you kind of like what's possible. So you can actually copy the code straight from the site and put it into your Gutenberg editor and you would get something like this. So,
Well, you need to download the plugin, the Editor Plus plugin, and then you can copy paste it in on the sidebar.
oh, copy code, full press.
But you go further down.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
the required
that's,
plugins.
yeah.
So you would get this plugin first, install it, then go back to the site, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks. Yeah, totally forgot about that. All right. Are we going to get Matt's face again? We got Matt's face again. I don't know. I don't understand why Keynote just can't keep to the front here. Moving on. I thought this was something pretty cool. This is called multi-dots. This gives you Google Docs style commenting to your Gutenberg blocks. And I'm actually going to cheat here and read off some of the features. And you're saying, Google, why would I want Google style commenting on my Gutenberg blocks? Well, if you're big on editorial workflow, this is a big deal because you can add the comments to your Gutenberg blocks. You can reply to the comments, get feedback. So the best example I could probably give is like if you've ever used a Google document with multiple people and they start commenting on it and fiddling with it and all of that. This is kind of like that. And I'm posting the demo into the Zoom chat in case you want to play around with it. It's compatible with a whole bunch of blocks. So you can start writing and have other people comment on your blocks, and your writings are a particular kind of block. Maybe it's an image block or that sort of thing. I was trying to figure out what their live demo. So effectively, if you're too lazy to go there, and by the way, it's free too, which is also pretty cool. This is effectively the homepage of the plugin itself. And if there's your live demo, redirecting you to the back end. That may sound dirty, but it is an actual legitimate thing that it's about to do. And it says, supposedly I have 30 minutes as soon as it redirects me here. I shouldn't have bought my internet access from a Coke can. Apparently that this doesn't mean. Oh, there you go. It drops you. Oh, look, a video. That would be helpful. But yeah, so I can write directly in the Gutenberg new editor and we can make comments on the text, which is actually pretty cool. So I know some people who do this before they put their blogs in WordPress or they collaborate outside of WordPress, and this kind of allows you to do it inside. And I don't know, it probably isn't as robust as Google Docs would be. I don't see how it could be, but it would probably just give you enough functionality there to make it worth your while. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's called multi-dots. Let's see. And we got Matt. Yep, Matt's back. All right, so our next one is an event. It's called WordFest. So unlike listening to my boring self for 2 hours on a holiday week, you might have a better time next month on the 22nd of January with a lot more speakers. It's called WordFest. You can register for free and think of it as a large online WordPress or WordCamp, really, in effect. I won't go through all the speakers here or the subjects or anything like that. Go free to look yourself if you're interested. I probably plan on attending for a couple of talks. They got a lot of nice people together. It's a nice, diverse speaking group, not only culturally speaking, but from different backgrounds, different experiences as well. This meetup, I would not be suggesting this conference to you if it was not something up most of your alleys. That sounds weird when I say it like that, but you know, figurative alleys. Let's see what we got here. And I believe WordFest, yep, WordFest.live, Gene, very good. So this last thing I wanted to share with you is for those that are like beginners to WordPress development a little bit. So this particular blog post is something you want to check out. Ooh, you probably could cut all the rest of the crap over there after add a custom view. But Tom McFarlane is a WordPress developer. He writes good developer blog posts, which are very rare these days. It's very hard to write a good WordPress developer blog post about how to do something because there's not a lot of pretty pictures that you can put, pretty useful pictures you can put along with that. But how to add a custom view to an all post screen. And this is the admin. So in case you don't know even what that is, I was going to show you, but it would be better if he had a screenshot for it. And he doesn't. All he has is code shots. So if you're in the, sorry, paying attention to something else here. So if you've ever viewed a screen in WordPress in the back end and you see the list of posts, you can see published, drafts, trash, and so forth and so on. You can manipulate that. And that's what he's showing you here. So if I was to go into my own horribly looking WordPress site in the back end here and click on just posts. This is great by default, but if you design a client site, you may want different things to appear in these columns, especially if they're custom things. And Tom shows you how to do that. So it's really great to tell a customer, hey, you know, you can now sort by this in this particular view, or, you know, sort by that. This, once you start manipulating this, you become really proficient at WordPress development once you start getting into this kind of stuff. So you also notice how Yoast SEO inserts a column over here on the right-hand side too for posts and stuff like that. Oh, damn it, Matt. All right. But that is a developer link I kind of threw in there. So if anybody is just getting their fingers or their toes or whatever body appendage warm in development, then that's a perfect way to kind of get started and read through Tom's site, explore the other blog posts that are there. Okay, so that's the top 10 for this evening for December 2020. If you're ever interested in more links, you should feel free to ask your Meetup, WordPress Meetup organizer about their Slack channels or come over and say hi to us. I also work for a company called Post Status. There's also that's a community you can join that would give you newsletters every week, including like who's acquiring which company, business, marketing, that sort of thing. They also tweet a lot. I tweet a lot too at Dimension Media about WordPress stuff. I'm sure a lot of people. Top 7, top 10. Yeah, I kind of stopped at 7. It's top whatever it is, Guy. I got really, really tired. It's 2020. It's December. I took the last 3 off. And I can't count. So, you know, combine all that together, you have the top 10, no 7. So hopefully that was kind of helpful, and at least maybe finding a plugin or a theme that you may wanted to check out. So moving along, as a reminder, we do have some trivia games to play with real prizes, thanks to GoDaddy Pro at the end of this. But our main attraction for this evening is me shutting off the screen share. Or maybe I'll keep it on, depending upon what links you throw into the chat, Brigitte. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for the nice people in the audience while I get something situated here.
Well, yeah, my name is Birgit Polly-Haag. Thank you, David, for inviting me for tonight. It's a great way to finish 2020 with seeing all the people that I missed from WordCamp. So I'm really heartwarmed by that, and yeah, waving at everybody and my friends and close friends, and then friends that moved away. And yeah, my name is Birgit Polly-Haag, and I'm 2 things among related to WordPress.
Just
related to WordPress. One is I'm a contributor on the Gutenberg team. I do testing and create issues, and every time I create issues, they say no. And I also can use some help. I'm also a team rep on the documentation team that puts together the end user documentation, not the developer, that's somebody else, but the end user documentation. And we have some great people now. That is a team that we just built up in 2020. And that's a relief that, yeah, that's one of the good outcomes of COVID, that a lot of people kind of started to write about blocks and how to use them. And I also keep the index page. So a lot of people, a lot of teams in WordPress are writing or sharing things about Gutenberg. And I keep the index page of all the team updates throughout a month or throughout the year, that if somebody hasn't kept up with Gutenberg and the development, then can actually go there and read up about every meeting and every updates and every shared issues from the core team, from the design team, from the meta team, and especially from the themes review team for the themes review theme, because they share a lot of information about full site editing. So that's what I do on the teams. And then I'm also the publisher of the Gutenberg Times, and it kind of all melts together at one point. And we do daily things, weekly things, bi-weekly things, and then monthly or daily we do a Gutenberg zip from master, Gutenberg plugin zip from master every day if there were changes the day before. So you, if you want to test it and don't want to build the plugin or do a whole lot of download of 260,000 files.
Oh, that's a fun Thursday night for me.
Yeah, yeah, I do whatever it is. So you can download that, and it's also available for updates. So once it's on your test site, you get notification if you also install the GitHub Updater plugin from Andy Fragan, who's also a core contributor on the beta plugin thing. So he helped me putting that together, and it's really cool. Well, thank you for showing off the Gutenberg Times website.
Yeah,
so
I was
that's
just trying to catch up with some of your links too, because
yeah,
Zoom. Oh, there I go. I was able to move Zoom out of the way. This is the index.
Yes, that's the index page. Yeah. So in December there were about I don't know 15 links or more. In November were quite a few because 5.6 came out. So if you scroll down, that's kind of yeah. So it's the core editor thing, the CSS team, the design team, the themes team. They all have, and it's all in chronological order. So if you look something up.
So if you're really, really interested in the progress that the teams are doing to Gutenberg and the other stuff, the index is for you. If you are kind of like a level to the side and to the up, you definitely want to check out the Gutenberg Times, where it's more, say it's less, it's more English. it's more user friendly to consume, especially if you're like somebody like me, because if you are a developer or you are someone that builds website for a living, you kind of want to know what the direction WordPress is going, and maybe not down to the metal in terms of the index stuff, but I can tell you from personal experience, the Gutenberg Times makes it a lot easier to know what you can do with blocks and what new things blocks can do in the corresponding directories and features that people are coming up with. And they have that in terms of podcasts. They have that in terms of weekend editions here. I believe this is
It's last week.
Yeah, that was last week with the new,
No,
especially
that
with
was
the
the
new
week
version.
before. Yeah. 152 is the last one. Yeah.
So if anybody has been following along, there has been some, we've had Gutenberg as an editor. It's been what, 2 years since Matt pushed it out of WordCamp US, or was it 3
Yes,
years?
that was December 6, 2018 was the release of Gutenberg and the core. So
Okay.
it's 2 years.
So if
It's
anybody here has used WordPress in the past 2 years and not deliberately turned off the editor that's come with it, then you've used Gutenberg. Gutenberg is the new editor. So that editor inside of WordPress, we call that Gutenberg when it is a separate plugin. How would you what's a better way to describe that? Because I think you can describe that better. When is it Gutenberg? When we say Gutenberg,
yeah, Gutenberg is
when does
pretty
it
much
start being Gutenberg and stop being Gutenberg and becoming WordPress editor?
so the Gutenberg plugin is pretty much what's named Gutenberg, and that's released every 2 weeks, a new version, and it also has in there all the things that they're working on experimentally, where they try things out, and also the new features. And then every 10 or so releases, there is a major WordPress release, and that's when it all becomes the block editor. In the WordPress core. So all the releases if prior to that, or the features prior to that, get into core in the major release. Yeah. So the last one was 5.6. We had Gutenberg plugin 8.5 to 9.2. All the features came in, and then so beta 1 of the WordPress release is pretty much stop of new features, and that's the last Gutenberg plugin version. That's the last one that goes into a new WordPress core version. And so that's pretty much where it stops being Gutenberg and then being the block editor. So Gutenberg is pretty much the how do I say it, the development process. Yeah, and the block editor is what's actually getting into core.
All right, so let's talk. Well, I mean, that probably helps somebody. It helped me still, and I've been with it for years. Let's talk more about Gutenberg and some of the more practical things that we can kind of do with it as far as the latest WordPress release goes. The latest WordPress, what was the latest WordPress release and when did it come out?
Well, the latest was 5.6 and it came out.
Throwing you a softball here, Birgit. I'm throwing you a softball.
Right. Thank you. And it came out on December 8th. And it wasn't so much about the Gutenberg release there. There was a lot of block editor changes, but the major point of that release was that it was an all-women release squad. So there was over 600 contributors, but 40 of those, and that was, it's actually pretty new in a technology environment, especially with a major software like WordPress, that there's an all-women release squad pushing a release out and bringing that to the larger audience. So yeah, there you have this great post there that came out of the release, and there's a list of all the contributors, but about 30 women were 30 to 40 women were the team there that was together. Yeah.
So what new enhancements to Gutenberg and the site editor came with this particular release?
So I have about 15 items, but I'm gonna do
15?
it like you did.
You told me just a couple in our pre-interview,
Right. So I'm gonna pick a few of them. One of them is video tracks. That means you can now upload subtitles, caption, and descriptions and chapters to the videos that are on your site in the video blog. And I have, and Anne McCarthy just published a lot of documentation about that on the core site. And you can also upload multiple tracks of that. So multiple tracks, multiple languages is actually what I wanted to say. So I'm gonna copy that link in here for the, so that's one of the good stuff. Then what I like is that the columns block now has the ability to transform multiple selected blocks. into a
let
columns
me
block.
pause there because I'm screen
Yes.
sharing. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
I
because
see it. Yeah.
we're posting and then talking. I'm trying to get it to so people can visualize it in front of their screen. So you can now add text tracks to videos, basically. Right? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Just
Yes. I'm
I was
sorry.
just making I was associating the text with the photos, and then what was it you were about to show us next? Because then we can talk about it while we bring
Um,
it up here.
well, it's the columns block when you can. So sometimes you want you to create a content and then said, well, maybe I want this into columns. And now you can actually highlight multiple blocks, select them, and then transform them into a columns block. So for instance, you can, you have two image blocks and now you want them side by side instead top to bottom. You can just kind of highlight that, click on transform, and then have them into a columns, in columns. That's pretty good. And I like that
That's what
very
the
much.
messages.
So, yeah, sorry, I was kind of not so.
I'll play with that later, but
Right. And another one is that the button block now has a buttons block has now a selector for the width. So normally the width was the controlled by the content that you put in, but now you can say, okay, I want it a quarter size of my page or half a size of my page or that particular column. That is now really easier to handle and much more flexible. And from, I'm so happy that that is in there. You also can now have multiple alignment options on the buttons.
so if you're a button buster, then this release is for you. The frustrating things we had to do with buttons before, the unspeakable horrors that we've had to manipulate with buttons are now a thing of the past.
Yeah, a thing of the past. Yes, and a thing of the past also that you have to use a large image or the original image in the media and text block. Now you can have an image size control, which is definitely better for the speed, download speed of your site if you can select a different size on that, a lower size, of course. And then there's one thing that, so there are writers who kind of miss the distraction-free writing, but also that they have to use the block toolbar to change the heading level. So if you do a heading, it normally comes in an H2. You cannot select a default style of H3, for instance, but now you can, instead of selecting the heading block and then selecting the H3, you can now do just slash and then type H3 and automatically have an H3 in your content. So if you want to do some instructions there, demonstration there.
Well, I was trying to, well, no, you tell me what to do, because apparently this.
If you go down to the start writing type there, and just do /H2.
Like that?
And hit enter. Oh, it doesn't work. What version do you have on there?
Well, let me double check. I have 5.6.
Oh, okay.
But wait a minute, I'm just making sure that I don't have any Gutenberg stuff here. Nope, I don't have the Gutenberg plugin active. Then I shouldn't need to, but still.
Okay.
Am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, I think it was because it was already a paragraph. It wouldn't check that there's a new block coming in. So if you do it again and you hit enter on that start thing, hit enter
like
there, and then and then
/H2.
/H2. Yeah. And then enter. No.
That's strange.
That's strange. Yeah.
Because it's, what is that then? That is a paragraph. It's still a paragraph tag.
Yeah.
I'm probably doing. It's possible that I might have something installed on here that's not
Yeah, but what you also could do is if you have a heading in there and that's an H2 and then you realize, oh, I don't want it on H2, you can do a, you just put in front of that, yeah, put a heading, transform from paragraph to heading.
Forgot
So where is the transform? It's right there, yes, heading.
There you go.
And then put 3 hashes on there before this, and then a space, and then you get heading 3.
Like that?
Hashes, hash.
Oh.
For markdown.
Like that?
Yeah, and space. And
That
that
is
should be a
strange.
head 3. It doesn't work either. So you have a plugin installed that does.
That darn plugins.
Yeah.
But
that
I can still do it the old-fashioned way, but that's all
yes,
right.
you can. You can.
Keep
We all can do
going.
it the old-fashioned way.
We'll keep going.
So,
This is actually a very poor demo site. I just pulled. It was the first demo site. I pulled it up. What? Tell us the next one, and I'll see if it works in another site I have here.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rest, that's pretty much it. One is, of course, the block patterns that come with WordPress 5.6 are so much better than the word patterns that came with 5.5 when the feature came in the first time. So the block patterns is really a good way to have the different templates and different layouts in Gutenberg. In the block editor, so you can you don't have to, if you have a method to do media and text with heading and then the paragraph and then another one and then the colors all set, if you can make that as a block pattern, you don't have to do it every time over and over again. So that's certainly, and block patterns is
so yeah, for those who don't know here, what is a block pattern and what's one URL you can drop into chat, that would probably be a good exposure to something like that. Elizabeth says she managed to get her hash working, by the way. That sounds weird.
It works.
That sounds weird out of context. That sounds weird out of context.
I use it a lot.
It works here. So yeah,
okay,
so
cool.
I can see what you mean. I can see what you mean. So I can remove this block, start typing it, and this is just regular text. But if I put 1, 2, 3, 4, it changes it to a heading 4. Yeah. All right. That's neat to know.
Oh, and I just share a link in the chat to the block pattern resource list that I put together on the Gutenberg Times, which has, so what's the block, and I just added one as kind of the block pattern directory, but that's still in the works. But in that post, you see first what it is, and then how to create block patterns from 0 to hero. There are a few tutorials on there. And then you also see a few applications of the block patterns in the wild, either by themes that have some good block patterns. Amongst them now is the 2021 theme, has some marvelous block patterns to use on your site. There is a there's a plugin by JB Audras, who's a core team contributor, where you can convert your reusable blocks to block patterns. And that's really cool because the reusable blocks have, some people have used reusable blocks as block patterns before block patterns were available. And they always had to jump over that hurdle that reusable blocks are actually text snippets or snippets of blocks that you reuse over and over again. And if you change the content of the reusable block, it will change all the instances where you use it. That's different with a block pattern. As soon as you put it into a block pattern into your text, you can modify it and the original block pattern stays how it was done. Yeah, so JB's plugin lets you convert the reusable blocks that you seem to be using like that to block patterns if you need them.
Right.
There's also Rich Tabor has some nice tutorial on how to create block patterns. And Carolina Niemark, she's on the theme team, has also created a few tutorials on block patterns as well as a theme, the full site editing theme. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
And
block
then,
patterns. There's block patterns also on this Gutenberg Hub
exactly,
templates as
yeah.
well.
Yes,
Which we were sharing a while ago. And there's also a template. Well, this is the template library, but that's not what I wanted to click on. Where is Tabor's? So his
Tabor's is under hero to zero, zero to hero. Block, yeah,
so
that's exactly
so
it. Yeah.
so long story short, if you people, like I'm calling you people, my people, you're my people, my people. I feel like I'm about to cross the Red Sea, but my people, if you've ever done something repetitively in the WordPress editor, especially with blocks, especially if you're setting something up for a client site or a customer site or something like that, you want to learn at least what block patterns are and what they can do. Because I have built sites faster with Gutenberg. Once I begin to learn, it's a little bit more of a learning curve, I personally, than just sitting down and start typing into the old WordPress editor. But once you get a handle on some of the things, even on a very basic level, what the editor can do, I can turn around like very simple or one-page sites or landing page WordPress sites like in half the time that it took me before this new editor in Gutenberg came into the picture. So block patterns makes that a reality in essence of speaking. So that sounds like, is there anything else in this latest version before we go into more of site editing in the demo video that you think is worth noting?
No, I think the list block got some love with typography controls, like you can now have different text sizes and color on the list block. That was kind of still a missing piece on all that.
Yeah,
block.
they're just putting this spackle on there. Yeah. I'm still getting a hang of like and keep in mind this is a site with plugins that are extending WordPress and the Gutenberg stuff, but this has gotten a lot cleaner since day one. And there's even and here's your block patterns, here's buttons, and for this particular theme that I have, or thing I have installed here for this particular site. But you can I mean, just to be able, this is essentially what a block pattern, I just executed what a block pattern actually is, where there is a pattern over here, you click on it, and sometimes you do want a nice headline over 2 columns of text, and I created one in no time flat, and all I got to do, I think it's great for that, like if you wanted to ever like build a demo site in WordPress and just go in and edit all of that placeholder text for your own copy and your own photos and stuff like that. Block patterns are actually pretty handy. Some are more useful than others, but I mean, here's another one, and depending on the theme, sometimes they can be simple, sometimes they can be straightforward, and other times they're much more complex than that, and you get lots of cool plugins that can add a lot more layouts and themes as well. So that is cool stuff.
Yeah, and it's getting even cooler. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I have seen in the wild on GitHub a discussion, or Alex Shields from the Meta team actually in October published a discussion and collection of ideas how a block pattern directory on WordPress.org would work, and they started actually on that work that is really will change how normal users kind of get block patterns into their site without having to download a theme or plugin, and can just add it from the directory to that particular post where they want to use it, and that will be really remarkable.
Can I pause for a second, Britta? I wanted to do a special call out here because this has turned into a radio show, apparently. And I'm going to do a shout out to a word I've never had to pronounce before. I'm going to spell it first maybe someone can help me. I'm going to type it into chat, but I just thought this was pretty interesting. I can't even type it right the first time. It's no, I do not want dictation, Mr. Mac or Ms. Mac. I don't want to presume. So how would you pronounce that?
Hello. It's pronounced Sherzad. Actually, let me turn on my video real quick. I'm
Sherzad. Okay.
in the middle.
I'm interrupting this interview to bring you a special hello to to a first-time WordPress user who about 30 minutes ago was looking for a WordPress community, or an hour ago. Time is meaningless to me. Whatever. We just wanted to say, it's good to have you, and please feel free to ask in the chat any questions or more. What we wanted to do here as a little bit of a break is if anybody would like to suggest good WordPress communities, and what's your interest again?
Yeah, I just want WordPress communities. You can't. No one can see me.
No, hi. I can't see you because I'm sharing my screen. But go ahead.
Oh, got it. That makes sense. Yeah, I recently started working with WordPress again. My company ServiceBot actually has a plugin for it, and so I've been kind of around with it, and I used to use it to run to help run. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Seeing you.
So yeah, I used to like help run a publication, and now my current company that I'm a co-founder of actually has a plugin. So I've just been playing around creating a demo site, and I wanted to see what kind of communities exist around WordPress because it seems to be so much larger than what I ever imagined.
I'm sorry I had to be your first exposure into that world, but I assure you they're a lot better than this. This
is great. This is great.
Good. That was going to be awkward if you let the silence run a little longer. So
no, this has been great. Thank you.
So where Brigitte and I talk about full site editing, anybody in the chat, if you would like to share some particularly good WordPress Meetup community links that she can check out, that would be great. Because she's already experienced this wonderful piece of art, I'm sure you can find things that would improve upon her experiences. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure while people were listening to our conversation, that would be something they would be able to contribute to in chat and not wait till the end where everybody just wouldn't have time to add it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Sorry. I can't believe I've talked to this many women in a row. So let's go back to Brigitte. My wife will have a comment later about that. So let's talk about full site editing, which is something, what is full site editing? And it's not something in WordPress right now. Let's just nobody look in WordPress right now for full site editing, but can you better explain what it is? And I can prime maybe a better link here for that.
Well, Justin Tadlock on the Tavern actually did a good write-up just today on full site editing. It's the piece that now expands the block editor from just inside the post or page or custom post type to actually design your whole site, or at least edit parts of your theme, like the header or the site title, or if there is a sidebar, well, all these terminology kind of change. Yeah, they are no widgets or sidebar anymore. It's just another place where you can put in blocks. But every one of those you actually can then change, and you have different kind of blocks do different kind of things. But I think the most exciting part is that themes can do still the shell of it, but then you can, as a user, change how the loop is going to be displayed. And that's certainly something that, or the list of posts that are on your front page or on your news site. If you can change that, then you wouldn't need to write a new template in a theme. You just do it through your site editor. And at the State of the Word, Johan Asmussen, he's one of the Gutenberg designers of the first hour, did a walk through the site editor screen where everything comes together, where you can change this site header, where you can change how the post loop looks and how you can change the footer. And if you want to do that video now, that would be probably great in then fielding questions or so.
So effectively, I noticed on the article here, we actually mentioned the block-based Bosco theme tonight in the top, well, top 7, top 8, type, whatever top it was. And so if you want to experience this even a little bit, I'm trying to think of, like, does this come with the editor? I was trying to think if this came with the theme or if they were, okay, this came with the theme. So if you want a taste of it a little bit, you could install the theme we talked about tonight, which makes sense because that's how I found the theme to share in the first place.
Yeah, all the full site editing features that are in development right now are actually in the plugin. So if you install the plugin, you have them, but you need to turn them off on by actually installing a block-based theme. One block-based, and there is a GitHub repo called the Theme Experiments with WordPress, where there are 6 or 7 different themes in there. And one of them is the 2020 blocks. And then 2 other themes, I think a photo block theme from a theme developer from Kjell Reichstad. He also did some experiments there. And then there are 2 themes, block-based themes or even 3 in the repo. One is called Q from Ari Statapopoulos. And the other one is Bosco, from Frank Klein.
Yep, we covered that one.
Then, and I think Seedlet is not a block-based theme yet, which was a new. Well, it might be. Totally. I'm sorry about that. But the theme experiments repo on WordPress, GitHub's.
Here's the Q theme that you were talking about. So this is an article right now, people, I'm showing on the WordPress Tavern about the first FSE. When you see FSE, that's full site editing. So Q would be the first full site WordPress editor that is now live. I'll just go ahead and paste this into chat. There we go. By the way, with the chat, if you're posting job offerings and Q&A, we will try to cover all those at the end too, in case people don't have access to the chat for some reason. So this is a link also that is effectively the first full site editor link, and that's partly kind of what we're talking about here, about not just playing around with blocks, but playing more around with just actually editing things outside of the edit area, more toward the theme itself. And the whole next year of 2021 is actually going to be devoted to this. What was it Gutenberg Times that had the video? I think now we have a video, and this goes along with the new WordPress theme that came out 2021. Help me out here. Where was it? It was right here. So this should have audio to it. I'll try to keep the volume a little low, but what we want to show everyone here now is, if you did not see this during Matt Mullenway's State of the Word a short time ago, was it last week? Yeah, it was last Thursday. Here, let me go straight to the YouTube. His face was everywhere at a moment ago.
2021 makes it easier than ever to get your visit onto your site and your site onto the web. And now we'd like to show you a sneak peek at some of what's coming around the corner with Gutenberg. We have Johan showing the site editor beta.
Can you hear that?
In this demo, I'd like to walk you through the new Gutenberg site editor.
First of all, okay.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
we can hear.
yeah, we can hear.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
we can hear it loud and clear.
Yeah, sorry,
I didn't realize you can't see anybody.
Yeah, screen share on. Yeah, that's just like cutting my nose off despite my other nose. Hold on, here we go.
The site editor allows you to edit the theme.
Site onto the web. And now we'd like to show you a sneak peek at some of what's coming around the corner with Gutenberg. We have Johan showing the site editor beta.
In this demo, I'd like to walk you through the new Gutenberg site editor. The site editor allows you to edit the theme templates beyond the post content. It introduces several new blocks like the query loop. When you make a modification like adding a featured image, it naturally adds it to every post in the query. You can configure the layout, make simple tweaks, and it propagates to all the posts. If you prefer the featured image above the titles, no problem. All the familiar block interactions are available. While the header is a separate template part, it can be edited seamlessly. Everything is a block. Navigation, the site title, the tagline, making it easy to edit anything and make use of all the block tools available. The block list view shows all the different areas, like header and footer, for quick access. Since everything is created with blocks, it's easy to edit. The site editor engine keeps track of all the modifications, giving the user a clear overview of what has been modified. The site title, the header area, etc. You can open the 404 template, modify it like any other content. With the introduction of block patterns to WordPress, themes will be able to offer any number of designs, providing a shortcut to replicating demo sites or swapping out aspects users may not like with another that they do. This is the culmination of several ongoing projects to improve and expand upon the customization possibilities in WordPress. Both templates and regular pages can be edited in the site editor. Small previews can be seen when hovering the different templates. The Style Customization panel allows making global changes like text, link, or background color. These modifications can be quickly checked against the different pages in the site. You can customize any template of a site, such as the page template. Drag and drop the page title into a cover block to use a gradient for that page. The possibilities are endless. We can't wait to see what you build with this.
As you can see, we've come a long, long way with Gutenberg from those first versions you might have seen and tried out. If you haven't given it a try recently, I encourage you to check out Gutenberg. By creating this common framework that every theme and plugin can build on, we're reducing the balkanization within WordPress from people who are solving these problems lots of different ways and providing what I believe is the basis for the next decade of WordPress's growth. So we're about 2 years into a 10-year project. We've got good chunks of phase 1 and phase 2 of Gutenberg done. That's the post and page editing, and then editing the entire site. I'm excited to continue these in 2021 and hopefully start to get to phases 3 and 4.
So that's recent info there from last week. So
all you need to launch a culinary empire.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's a different meetup. What were you about to say?
The culinary empire. That's what I'm going to go for next.
Oh, man, I think I'm going to have one of those later this week, and that'll be my cause of death. What were you going to say?
I was saying, so there are multiple things that need to come together for the full site editing. One is the navigation block, which will replace your menus. And they have been working on it for now 12 months to get it right. And so there were a few starts and stops and refactoring of the code that they want to do, especially around getting existing menus in. That's certainly one of the things. Another part is the widget screen, and it almost made it into 5.6, but it doesn't work with the customizer. So the release team and the Gutenberg team said, yeah, we definitely don't want to expose millions of people to something that's so unfinished. So
that's what my wife says about me all the time.
Yeah. But those things all need to come together. And what happens when you have the Gutenberg plugin and a block-based theme, you get another menu item in your WP admin that says site editor and a red button that says beta. And that will also turn off the navigation menu as well as the widget menu, because everything else should work in the theme. Don't try it at home. For now, it's just for testing.
Go to someone else's home and try it.
No, use a test site. But we will, there are, and thank you for scrolling through this. We have another live Q&A on the Gutenberg Times with Carolina Niemak and Ari Statopoulos and Anne McCarthy, talking about block-based theme, full-site editing, and there's also what comes out or will be the FSE outreach program that is about to start with the first testing. So that program or that group is something that anybody who does site building for others or is a theme developer can join and do on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, go through testings and then discuss certain things. It's definitely helpful for the developers to actually get input from people that have done this multiple times already and need to migrate old themes to the new one, and then make sure that that all works and that they, the site builders get everything they need to actually build a site or together with a new theme. So that is definitely a program to join for non-developers if they want to. Most programs or contribute or a lot of contribution is asking for code or something like that. This is definitely not that part.
So let me ask you something here. So hopefully we have enough people have realized here tonight that the future of editing your site is going to be going under some transformations, just like how 4 years ago we used to type into a text editor in WordPress and now we have blocks. This is kind of like the next level. Now, instead of just having blocks to create a page or a post, now it's appearing throughout the rest of a WordPress site, what we thought of as widgets and page templates. So let me ask you a few questions. One, how do you think this is going to affect page builders? Because a lot of people, especially listening now, use some sort of page builder, or at least prefer to use some sort of page builder. How do you think this is going to affect them?
It's going to be interesting. It's not going to affect them soon, but it will affect them when end users decide to need to decide between page builders or not page builders. But what I learned is that a lot of site builders that do sites for others and maintain them as well use the page builders like Elementor or Beaver Builder, for instance, to streamline their processes in creating sites. And for them, it would be, they would need to change their processes, and that's a very hard thing to do. And I don't think that a lot of page builders lose that kind of target audience with the full site editing, unless there is additional features in there that helps them to, so there's one feature that's planned that's exporting themes. So if you build something start out with a theme and then build something, and then you can export that theme and install it on a different site. That's in place. But all the other things that all come with Elementor and Beaver Builder, especially for agents, for agency or freelancers, that will be a part where the full site editing, the block editor is still will probably be lacking for many, many years. So the end user of page builders will probably go away. Also, agencies that do theme development or custom theme development for their clients will probably stay with the full site editing, because they won't need to change, have build things on top of WordPress anymore, so they can use the tools from the core product, and that's going to be maintained. I think that that's pretty much what I'm saying. Yeah, we have stopped supporting page builders about 3 years ago when Gutenberg came out. We say, and every new website we built in our agency was Gutenberg first since mid 2018. even before WordPress 5 came out. And we have, very fast, actually, turned out websites and make them easy to use for the end customers or end users. And now with additional block patterns, everything what we design, we will put in block patterns. So if they want to add another page or another section of the page, they just use the pattern that we built for them, and they don't have to go out and search for things.
So it sounds like to me, we've had this, the general consensus is that page builders will still continue to exist, but there just might be fewer of them because it's kind of like the general trend in WordPress plugins. As things get more complicated or things get more feature rich and the low-hanging fruit's been plucked in terms of features, it's only, and this is like this in other parts of the web too, it's only those who have funding, who have the people, who have the budgets and stuff to keep adding these bigger features, you know, like Elementor is one of them because they've gotten funding. I expect Elementor to be around for a long time because they are able to adapt and insert themselves into the block editor, do some things the block editor doesn't necessarily do out of the box per se, because they have the money, they have the manpower, and they have the resources. But smaller page builders may not have that opportunity. So we'll have to see. But I think, you know, and feel free to disagree, but I mean, it's we're going to be seeing a consolidation probably, or just plain disappearance of a few of maybe of the smaller page builders as this goes forward. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I can see Elementor actually with the SaaS model or hosting model doing actually a fork like WordPress.com does, and kind of use pieces from their core and then put their own spin on it and put it all in a hosting environment. The same will happens with GoDaddy. They will not produce another WordPress kind of fork, but they will have the their theme with all the patterns and templates available to their end users, and don't need a kind of block builder.
What that reminds me of is, people probably won't know this, but BuddyPress. BuddyBoss took BuddyPress and basically they forked it. It's mostly still BuddyPress, but they kind of made a lot of their added a bunch of features, changed the way the few features were presented. And it isn't you don't install BuddyPress anymore, you install BuddyBoss. And that is effectively, it's kind of like an alien abduction movie where somebody walks down a corridor of a spaceship and then an alien gets them and turns that person into an alien. It's like, it looks like a friend, you know, but it's not. It's been changed some on the inside. And that's what BuddyPress does with BuddyPress. And sounds like to me, somebody like Elementor can do that as well, which has been talked about in the community. Like, they don't announce their plans, but like you said, they can take WordPress, integrate their stuff a little more deeply and just offer it as a hosting package. And we already have a few people in the chat that say they already use Elementor, or they're Elementor fans, or they want to marry Elementor. That one seems to go a little too far. But it seems like they all would, you know, if you are using Elementor, you may want to keep your eye on this and be aware of what they will be looking at in terms of what Gutenberg is up to. I just wanted to touch really. What? No, go ahead.
Yeah, what I also see in the community, or what will happen, is that the theme development part will be easier because all the things that you put in PHP are now in blocks. So you can actually address in your theme templates just the block kind of codification, and even have just HTML pages and still be block editor ready with your theme. It is so much easier now, or will be so much easier to bring design to WordPress without having a lot of development attached to it. And that is certainly a nice expansion of whoever is going to do themes, to just have to concentrate on the design and not so much on the development of things.
Okay, so here's, I was looking to see if there was, first of all, if anybody has any questions regarding this, feel free to ask them in the chat now, because we're just about ready to, we're wrapping this up pretty much. What is the, I wanted to also just touch really briefly, even though full site editing is coming in 2021, we have 2 other phases as well. And I know you probably know, you might know just as much about it as I do, which may not be a lot. What I went here is I went to the WordPress roadmap page. Sometimes I wonder if they keep it updated, but yes, they have kept it updated. So good for them.
Yes.
But there is a, it tells you March 2021 is the next version of WordPress, all the way to the end of 2021. What is also being, there are phases, and right now this is kind of the phase we're in. Customization includes full site editing. There are 4 phases. The third one is collaboration, and I think Matt said something about collaboration during his State of the Word. Was collaboration also supposed to be in 2021, or is it after 2021 with once we get past this?
So I would think they start developing in 2021, but there is not something to look at. That's certainly for 2022. Well, Riyad Benguela, who is a lead developer on the Gutenberg team, has actually started thinking about it already. And he's put a site together. It's called asblocks.com, asblocks.com, where you can.
Is it 1 S or 2 S's?
1 S.
Okay, just making sure, because I didn't want to get to a naughty site.
Yeah, where you can then you can start writing a blog post, and then on the right hand side on the top you can click on share, and then somebody else can also edit that the same post. And so there are some pieces they're already working on, and they actually put together a change log where 2 or 3 people were actually adding and editing on the same page. So
okay, let's wait a minute. I'm trying this now. I'm going to type in my name.
Yeah.
I'm going to use copy, and I'm going to paste that into the Zoom chat, and they can play with it while you finish.
Yeah. And that's all encrypted and timed, and we can all change it.
So just to give people, again, a refresher here, that we are talking about full site editing coming in the next year, but there is also another phase coming after that called collaboration. That is a whole different phase. So so what is collaboration? Think Google Docs, how you can work on one multiple document at the same time with multiple people. That could be what WordPress starts to incorporate. And supposedly AskBlocks.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to work.
I want to pronounce it called AskBlocks, but that's not how you.
AskBlocks.
AskBlocks. Yes, but I pronounce it with a long S.
I know.
I like
English
AskBlocks.
as a second. Yeah, but I don't seem to be getting there, so I'm not sure if he
really? Maybe it's not. Did I do it right?
You jammed it.
We jammed it. Yeah. So I
should
have tried this before. I should have tried it again if it still works.
Uses end-to-end encryption. That means only the user is accessing the post with the link above. Yeah, I think I did it right.
No, I don't think that's a problem that you had.
Okay, well, somebody needs to kick this guy in the ass blocks here and get this project moving again. I'm running out of ways to incorporate it, but yes.
Yeah. So collaboration, as you said, it's going to be Google Docs, kind of co-authoring and sharing and commenting and chatting with it.
So in your experience, though, somebody was asking about page builders in the chat, like alternatives to, the question was alternatives to Elementor. So let's ask the question with your spin on things. As far as if you could list the top page builders that would work, that would cooperate with Gutenberg incorporated into a WordPress site moving into 2021, maybe Elementor would be one of them. Would any others come to mind?
Beaver Builder has some integration with Gutenberg, definitely. I think Divi is still
I got to
on
be careful
the
how I
fence.
type this one too. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
I think Divi is still on the fence with it and has smaller integration with Gutenberg. It doesn't get in the way anymore, but I would, I think I would wait till, if you start out now.
So, you've spent months
Sorry.
If you start now building sites, I would look for themes and then use Gutenberg for the page content and then swap out the theme when the full set editing is there. And then start doing business like that. I don't think I would start out with Beaver Builder or Elementor, just because you don't know where everything is going, but WordPress is always going to be around. So that's for new people. I think full site editing will be really take a while, at least 2 years. So 2023 something, where they can really replace some page building
Okay.
on larger scale. Yeah.
So the next question kind of it's a general hosting question, so it's not really pertaining to Gutenberg exactly, but and people can respond in the chat with their recommendations, their host stuff. Just to get mine out of the way, I'm a developer, so I tend to view things through the lens of a developer. So if you ask me for WordPress hosting advice without being too specific, I automatically default to sites like WordPress, WordPress hosting, custom WordPress hosting sites like WP Engine. And Nexus is also a good one. And Kingsta are also there. All of those are very high on my list. Yeah. Is there any, do you know which hosting sites incorporate Gutenberg blocks into their, or Gutenberg plugins into their onboarding process? I think Bluehost does.
Bluehost does, as well as does WP Engine with the, they bought Genesis in 2018, and the Genesis blocks, they were atomic blocks. And also GoDaddy. Yeah, they, Rich Tabor, the name came up earlier with the tutorial for block patterns. He was one of the early adopters of Gutenberg blocks and created co-blocks. And GoDaddy bought co-blocks and his themes shop and made that, integrated that into their onboarding as well. So GoDaddy is definitely, yeah.
Is there any
theme? It's not my choice of it, but they have some great themes. The Go theme and of GoDaddy is really remarkably well done.
Is there any recommendations on any themes if someone wanted to say, listen, I'm really serious about getting into this Gutenberg? You know, I know there's themes out there. Is there any specific friendly themes that would tend to lend to, what is your default Gutenberg theme? Gutenberg friendliest theme, I guess.
Yeah, our default theme is Genesis, is based on the Genesis framework. Yeah, depending on all the Genesis themes that came out in 2020 or had update in 2020 are Gutenberg optimized, and with the atomic blocks, now Genesis blocks, they also have matching blocks to it, additional blocks to the core blocks. So that's ours. I also used, I say used because with the atomic block, the atomic themes also went to Genesis, so it's not updated anymore, but an atomic theme. So Genesis the one. There's also a theme called Cadence theme, and you had them up there just before with the Cadence blocks in there. They have matching blocks. That's a very robust theme. Then, of course, a lot of people use Astra theme, and their blocks also match very good up with their own
I've
theme,
used Astra before. I've used Astra before. I think they had they had a little bit of drama about a month ago, I think, but yeah.
Right. But the ultimate, I think it's the ultimate blocks plugin that is from the same team, and they have some neat variations of things, of blocks in there for the columns block as well as for the separator and all that. Nice image blocks in there as well. So yeah, those are themes.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of feedback in the chat about people using various themes and block editors they're particularly fond of.
Yeah.
So that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if underscores is actually theme optimized, Gutenberg block or blocks optimized. But there is a Gutenberg starter theme if you're a theme developer and want to kind of start out on the right foot. In the Gutenberg themes experiments link that I shared earlier, people can start out with that.
Okay,
yeah.
well that's fantastic. So it does give us kind of a window into what's coming for what was mentioned, what they were talking about during the State of the Word, and what's coming for 2021. So 2021 basically it's going to be, once the full site editing is completed, I mean, obviously we'll talk about it in the WordPress meetups. There'll be lots of video tutorials about it and all of that. But the concept of themes isn't really going away, at least not totally, but it is changing. So before you were comfortable moving blocks around to construct a WordPress post and page. Now with full site editing, with all these other companies, whether they're theme companies, plugin companies, or hosting companies, they're all going to be working to try to show you all cool things that you can do with WordPress and still and be creative with it. So you'll have plenty of content when the time comes. But it's important as we close out 2020, I think, to kind of see where we're heading into 2021, especially since nothing has really slowed down. So is there anything else you think we missed, or do you think we covered it?
Well, I think we covered it. If I may do a shout out, we have a full site editing live Q&A coming up January 28th. And if you sign up, I will have announcements on the Gutenberg Times, but it is in the, I think the announcement is in the State of the Word post. Yeah, because we just put it together and then everybody went on vacation or at least a break. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, with Anne McCarthy, Carolina Nemec, and Aristotopoulos. That you get it really from the developers and from the team. Yeah, and we can do the Q&A with that, or bring all the questions.
Okay, I'm just making sure that I think it's hard to tell in the chat. Jean might be able to back me up if we missed anything. I do want to give out 2 shots out. First of all, thank you very, very much. If you could hear a room full of applause, that would be for you, because it's certainly not for me. Thank you for giving a shout out, and we'll make sure drop any additional links into the chat, and we'll be sure to scoop them up and add them into our summary that we'll share with the video afterwards. There are 2 shout outs. I do want to make sure in the chat first. Brian's name that I don't have a last name for. Let's see if I can cheat here. I don't have a last name, but Brian in the chat posted he's looking for someone with some WordPress SEO experience. He's in Florida, but he doesn't mean you don't have to be, maybe. I just pasted it right in there. There is also an extension for a virtual holiday special. Okay, that's happening on Monday the 28th. Miss Williams has provided that as well. I'm not going to mispronounce her first name again. No way. We learned about ass blocks tonight. And we also, there was a link that somebody posted earlier on. It was work related, and I can't seem to find it right now. Somebody very early on, Jean, if maybe you can find it, you're good at finding things. Someone was posting a work related message earlier on in this evening in the chat, and I can't seem to find it. Oh, there it is. I found it. It's by Stony. And there it is, right there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to while I'm going to close a bunch of tabs here, because my computer is sounding like it's about to take off. Can't wait till I get the M1 Mac here.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm heading out. I have dinner waiting for me. Thank you so much for having me. It was so good to see everyone on the meetup here, and thank you for joining and your questions and everything. It was wonderful to be here. Happy holidays and a wonderful 2021 for everybody. Stay warm, stay safe, and yeah, take care.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you again. We'll see you soon. We're going to be going to the game shows now where you can actually win something potentially. So let's see if I'm going to boot this up here. So those of you sticking around, if you have you can either have a mobile device or you just open a second screen or window in your browser. And I'm going to boot this up here. So this is, in case you don't know, this is Kahoot, and I'm going to hopefully try to reduce some screen real estate here. All right. We're going to turn on the friendly nickname generator. I think everything else is good. So you're going to open your browser window, mobile device or otherwise, and you're going to go to www.kahoot.it and enter in the code. So again, there's the link. I just dropped it in the chat. And enter in the PIN. Oh, and we got somebody there. So we'll play another couple of rounds of the game show here. It is important that if you win first, second, or third place to go ahead and take a screenshot. And I'm already just going to give you my email address. Dropped it in the chat. So if you win first, second, or third place, for any game, drop your screenshot in. Now, we're assuming that whoever wins first place will get the prize, and we'll send it in. Most likely the prize will be GoDaddy, gift certificate maybe of some sort. The game pin should be what you see on your screen right now, which is 7973791. So again, if you should be seeing in the Zoom screen share the game pin. And you're going to need that Zoom screen share because if you don't see the screen now, then you won't be able to answer the questions. We'll give you a second for that while I attempt to fix a little audio hiccup over here. I apologize if the sound is a little off. I can't tell if it's my Bluetooth headphones or my computer. There's too many different connections. All right, so, all right, Guy, if you say it's okay, it works right with me. Excited Puffin. Well, this is a kid's show, so we'll just move on. All right, I think we got most of the people in there. If not, then consider this your practice. You can watch. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, it's name that plugin. See how you are with visually WordPress plugins here. Faster, more accurate, more points. Okay, great. If you haven't played before, you should be catching on right about now. Oh, Excited Puffin. I know who that is. Okay, moving on. Granted, this is not a very accessible game show we're doing here tonight, but we're making the best of it. What plugin has that kind of logo? Like a dolphin or shark. Jetpack, very, very good. Jetpack, most of you seem to be familiar with that, for better or for worse. Looks like the excited puffin is no longer excited, and we have a bison up there instead. Let's see what our third one is. Okay, gonna go out on a limb and say it has woo somewhere in the name. That narrows it down quite a bit. Cool, WooCommerce, absolutely, yes. And yeah, my trick is to flip the words, and that catches a few people off guard, which will kill me later. Okay, panther's on fire and a bison's still on top. This is the weirdest thing I've ever had to say in my life. All right.
I thought this was family friendly.
I didn't hear that. Let me switch my things because it's definitely my side. Hold on one second. Give me one. Oh, come on. Where are you, Zoomy? Can someone say something?
Yeah, David. We can hear you.
Something.
There you go. All right, much better. I think the Bluetooth in my headphones was dying. All right. Lots of obscene animals. All right, last one. None of the questions show for me. Try rebooting or refreshing your browser. That's about the best way I can troubleshoot that. Reconnect with the pin. Contact form 7. Okay, volcano. I wish there was volcano forms. All right, let's see who we have here. Royal Giraffe is third, Zany Panther, and first. Yes, so congratulations, you now know. So what we'll do is I'll take a screenshot, but oh, the runner-ups go pretty quickly. Take a screenshot of that. Now, just in case someone doesn't claim their prize through email later, if you're second or third place, please go ahead and give us your photographic evidence, as we say, because if somebody doesn't claim a prize, then we kind of move on down the road, as they say. Now, we're going to put up our next quiz. It's ready. If you have problems, if you can't see the questions, the best thing I can say is try reconnecting with your browser with this URL and pin. So here we go. I also took a screenshot too. So, but what we're looking for is a screenshot of your username more than anything else. For some reason I have low volume, so let me see if there's anything I can do to fix that. Okay. And no cheating. And nobody related to me can win. You must be 16 to enter. I don't know. Esther, define fussy. And I really hope that's fuzzy. Okay. The audio or the video? There may not be much I can do about that. It might be your connection or any number of different things. Okay. We got. Are we going to get to an even number? Do I hear? I feel like an auctioneer. Do we hear an 18 going once, going twice? Sold. All right, here we go. WordPress trivia. About how many plugins are in the WordPress.org repo? When's the last time you looked at the WordPress.org repo and counted them all? Good, 58,000. Excellent. Just past 58,000 maybe a week or two ago. Who hit it first? A sloth and a ferret. Oh, great.
And I haven't seen the repo in a long time.
No, yeah, it's you don't have any reason to go. I don't have any reason to go to the WordPress repo on WordPress.org much anymore. And then like
that's a big jump to the last time I remember.
When I had to update this slide today, and it was 54,000. I had to update it to 58,000, and the slide was maybe a year old, maybe or two, maybe at most. So according to W3 Text, what was WordPress's market share of the top 1 million websites? Now, if you have common sense and basic math skills.
Yeah, I knew I got that wrong.
Did I say common sense? I just meant pure randomness. Absolutely pure randomness. There we go. All right. Ironically, the sloth has been the fastest animal so far tonight. Here we go. What year was WordPress created? Now, this doesn't change, thank goodness. Yeah, if you don't know much about WordPress, it's almost a blind guess. But yes, 2003 is when it was created, or it was born from a fork anyway. I'm not even sure how fast Iguana is, but I'll look it up later. WordPress has two co-founders. Matt Mullenweg is the most famous one, but we're looking for the other co-founder that doesn't get as much exposure. Mike Little, I'm very impressed. Everybody mostly knew that. That's actually pretty impressive. That's not exactly a well-known fact if you're new to WordPress. Apparently the sloth has managed to defy nature and go above an eagle. So here's the final quiz question. When and where was the first Wapuu created? And if you don't know what a Wapuu is, there it is. That it's our emblem. That is kind of like the WordPress mascot in a way. So it was created. When and where it was created. It was actually a Tokyo creation, and it was created at WordCamp Tokyo in 2009. And yes, WordCamp San Francisco was supposed to throw you off. So na. All right, so let's see who our three people are here, and we'll go on to our final non-WordPress related game show here. The sloth didn't. A mystery hare. I had one this morning. So let me take a screenshot. Oh, I couldn't do it quick enough. Well, thank you, Mystery Hare, Sloth, and Eagle. Please send your screenshots proving that you are you. And we learned something about WordPress tonight, and maybe a little bit about ourselves. But finally, this is our final 10-question non-WordPress related game show. So we are giving you the opportunity now to rest your little WordPress muscle brain. Oh, Elizabeth, you defer to a sloth. That's the nicest thing I think I've ever had to say to another human being today. Then after this, we cruise into the new year. I just want to say that our next WordPress meetup will likely be on January. It's the day before Inauguration Day. So I think that's Tuesday, January 14th. We do have a speaker lined up. We'll make the announcement official once all the ducks are in a row. We typically do our WordPress mega meetups on the first or second Tuesdays of the month, but that obviously will vary. Tuesday the 19th on January is which should be our next WordPress meetup, mega meetup anyway. Now, if you are an organizer of a WordPress meetup or you're a member of a meetup, encourage your organizer to join us. We should have a fairly good crowd next month because it's non-holidays and everybody's starting the new year. We'll have multiple guests, multiple speakers, multiple topics, and multiple ways to win additional prizes and gift certificates. If you want to speak during the WordPress meetup, it could be as short as 5 minutes about your favorite plugin, or it could be a little bit longer than that, talking about anything that pertains to WordPress. And we have multiple meetups here, so we've been having a lot of good diversity in speakers lately. Like I said, we kept this month's a little low key, but we'll be starting off January with a bang. All right, I think we're good here. Let's do our last. This one's on company slogans. So, not WordPress related. Finger looking good. Who does finger looking good? Do they get harder? I don't know. I haven't seen this quiz in 2 years. Yes. Okay, everybody. This is the first time I think everybody's unanimously picked an answer that was correct. I'm glad we don't know WordPress, but we know our fast food.
You gotta give credit to marketing.
Yeah, if WordPress could have, a good slogan, which we'll have, I can't think of one on the spot. Melts in your mouth, not in your hands. I'd say go rogue and go Pampers. Somebody picked Pampers. Thank you. That restores my faith in humanity. That's now I have to get that image quickly out of my mind. So great. We're starting to lose ranks here. Let's hopefully we don't have a Red Lobster theme based question here tonight. Here we go. The quicker picker upper. Could it be Pampers again? Nope. There's no Pampers here. Bounty. Yes. Somebody took a picture of that. I'm impressed. All right. Okay. Next one. Yes.
Ooh, this is tricky.
Yeah, because he moved from one to the other.
Yeah.
Verizon. Remember that? That used to be a meme until I think somebody had to send death threats to and they had to stop it.
And he moved to Sprint, and then now T-Mobile owns Sprint, so it's all.
Yeah, that's kind of like dating your cousin. All right, moving on. Let's go places. My wife would usually add "without you" at the end of that sentence.
Oh.
Yes, Toyota. The little claw, the two claws are still in the lead. Here we go. Oh, come on. Shame on you, Papa John's people. Shame on you. Anyway, here we go. We're bringing in the rear here with the last three. The choice of a new generation. I think that was Gutenberg's draft slogan until they found out it was taken by these people. Pepsi, yes. Dr. Pepper. I could see that. I find it hard to believe anybody still remembers Mr. Pip. I think he had COVID, actually. All right, here we go. Rapid Eagle. We're closing in. It's starting to narrow. It's going to take some quick responses to get past Eagle now, but it's definitely possible. You got 3 more questions. Obey your thirst. Sprite. Yeah, knew this was going to be a tough one. Apparently, Pepsi is no Pepsi fans here. The lead is neat. I think the lead narrowed a little bit. Somebody's going to come hungry, leave happy. Ooh, yes.
Oh, I guessed that one.
Narrow down. Oh, we have, see what happens. Anything can happen now. We're being mystery deer. It's hopefully there's no headlights coming up for that. Otherwise, mystery deer might take this. Here we go. This is the last one. Belong anywhere. Last ones are always tougher. Yes. Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Okay. I don't know if they still use that slogan anymore, though. Of course, then again, I'm not sure if they've ever even advertised after March of 2020 at this point. So what do I know? All right. Let's see who got this last one. In third place, 8 out of 10, Mr. Lobster. 9 out of 10, Rapid Eagle. Another 9 out of 10. Not a perfect score, but took first place anyway. Mystery Deer came out of nowhere. Good for Mystery Deer. I'll screenshot that. Thank you, runner-uppers. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to get some emails, probably mostly people complaining about how well we did this evening, but some of those will be the winners. And you send me your screenshots, and I will forward your names to GoDaddy Pro. And they'll take care of you. Just give them a little bit of time, especially since the holidays are coming up at the end of the week. So we want to thank everybody who stuck around to the end. Again, this was kind of a low-key meetup just because we wanted somebody to have some human interaction this week in case they couldn't spend quality time with friends or family, because even if you spend it remotely, it's still difficult sometimes to organize these things. And we're all overloaded on Zoom anyway. So, Gene, can you think of anything else that I haven't covered? Gene is our co-organizer. Say hi again, Gene, because you talk so much.
Yeah. I think, hello everyone. Happy holidays. And I think that's it, really. It's getting late now.
Yes, it's getting past my bedtime. My kids get to stay up for the next 2 weeks because they're off of school. If you are still interested in WordPress meetups, check out the chat. I'm actually going to leave Zoom open and muted and closed probably for the next half hour or so, but I'll share the chat as a text file as well in case you missed anything. Oh, did I hear Oh, okay. Somebody was just meditating, maybe. Couldn't hear that. There is, like I said, a next WordPress mega meetup happening next. It's the Tuesday before Inauguration Day. So again, that was, I think it was the 19th. Yes, it's the 19th. WordFest, is it WordFest? The one I mentioned.
Yeah, WordFest.
WordFest, I'm looking it up here, not sharing my screen.
January 22nd.
Yeah, so that comes after. That's exactly pretty much 1 month from now. So if you go to wordfest.live, is it?
Yes.
It's definitely not wordfest.com. That's another WordPress community conference that you can check out. It's actually the next one. If you also check out wordcamp.org, of course, everything is still virtual now, but you'll be able to find the next virtual WordPress conference. It's pretty December and January are pretty quiet, but they should start back up again. The ones that are happening in the US are the English speaking ones. But go ahead and check that out and bookmark it, because if that is where we'll be, a lot of WordPress people will be, and there's some fine talks happening. It looks like right now the two that are scheduled for Spain in December 26th and India online in January 30th. India might be English speaking as well, because I've seen some people apply to that, and I know for a fact they only speak English. But yeah, that's it basically. If you have suggestions for topics, questions, answers, and you can come by next month, feel free to send them in. Encourage your meetup organizers, if they haven't said anything about the meetup, to come. We want meetup organizers to come. We want them to have some time, share the time with us, and be able to talk about their meetups. because we feel like this community is a very important one, and this is not just one community, it's a collective community. And if any meetup organizer would like to run this mega meetup, feel free, be my guest, reach out to me. I'm only doing it by default and because I lost a bet. Is there anything else you can think of, Gene?
The Slack channel. All the links that I collected over this meetup will be there. I've been sharing them again on here, and I also will attach the chat file on there on Slack too. I posted a link to Slack, so if anyone wants to join or haven't joined yet.
That would be great, because if you can join the Slack, we'll definitely put this up there. So if you can't find the video recording, which will be on YouTube, and we're sharing the link on that, if you can't find that, or the text, it'll definitely be in the Slack group. Just get in, and if you want, just get in and get out, that's fine, or stick around. We have a fairly quiet Slack channel, so you won't be getting a million notifications. So if you like to enjoy this in the future, feel free to stay on. But unless that's it, we wish everybody a very safe and happy rest of the year. Again, please be safe. Please observe. I'm sorry, my screen just quit on me here. There. Okay, now we're back. Please be safe. Please take care of yourselves. You can follow Gene. What's your Twitter?
JPhillyWeb on Twitter. It should be on, like, if you ever over my name, it's there. So at JFELIWEB on Twitter, or anywhere else, pretty much.
Yep, and you can follow me there at Dimension Media. I can't shut up on there. It's good therapy. It's that I have to talk to my family. So anyway, have a good night, everybody. If you also feel free to I couldn't get to any other Twitter. If you want to just on Twitter thank our speaker or anybody else, just feel free to retweet that, spread it around a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to cut off my audio and video here, leave this up for 30 minutes. If anybody wants to grab anything from the chat while they're still online and awake, and then after that, I'm going to bed. So thanks again.
I guess.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
Thank you, Gene.
No problem, Dave.
Well, I guess I'm the only one left. I know.
No, but I have to stop the recording at some point.